What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Welcome to the channel, subscribers. To people who are not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you can be notified when we drop the new videos that we do on a daily basis. Also, when we do our live streams, which really are very, very fun, and the thing that I enjoy the most about the channel. So I hope that you accept my invitation to attend the live streams, also to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can know when we drop videos. Thank you to everybody that supports the channel and Super Chat and Venmo and Patreon. Thank you very, very much. Your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, as we know, if you are a boxing fan and you do not live on Mars, we have been in the middle of a extremely prolonged negotiation between Deontay Wilder's team and Anthony Joshua's team. And now we got a new update today where Shelly Finkle said Team Wilder is waiting for clarification in order to move forward with the Joshua contract. In short, Eddie Hearn said that they would send a contract to Deontay Wilder on Friday. According to Shelly Finkle, that contract did not come until Monday evening. And then after they got it, they sent 2 points to be reaffirmed, 2 questions to get answered to Eddie Hearn, and they have not heard back, and it is now Thursday. So let me go through the article and give you my thoughts on it. And this is for everybody that says, hey, where's the contract? Why haven't they signed? He's had the contract. Deontay Wilder has had the contract. Okay, this is what Shelly Finkle's saying, and let me go through it. Exclusive World Boxing News. Team Wilder left waiting for clarification in order to move forward with Joshua contract. World Boxing News has been informed by Shelly Finkle that contract clarification is needed for an Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder unification in the UK to be signed off. Finkle confirmed the paperwork Matchroom Boxing's Barry Hearn was received 3 days later than planned on Monday, and by Tuesday had sent 2 points to be reaffirmed by Joshua's handlers before making the fight official. Giving an update on Thursday, Finkle explained a roadblock had been hit as a result of failure to respond on the part of Hearn. We looked at the contract on Monday and raised 2 specific details in the paperwork that we needed clarification of, Finkle exclusively told World Boxing News. It's frustrating as Eddie Hearn is stating in the media that we need to be quick and sign the contract, but how can we sign it if they don't respond to our email and clarify our concerns? If we are being rushed, we really need to hear back from Barry in order to be able to complete things on our side, he added. An already agreed mandatory bout between Joshua and Alexander Povetkin hangs in the balance for September as conversations stall with Wilder and his team. AJ has been ordered by the WBA and the WBO to battle Povetkin unless a deal could be reached with his arch nemesis from across the Atlantic. Although unless these questions are answered, Finkle is unable to have pens put to paper. Initially turning down $50 million in favor of taking on Wilder in the UK, Joshua has come good on his eventual promise to put a package together for an encounter against his most dangerous challenger. All that's missing is a signature from both boxers, which can only happen once their advances are given the relevant attention by Joshua and his team. Now, I don't know what anybody else expected. That's just standard. If you're going to send an agreement, people are going to ask questions. There could be a clarification about what you mean. There can be ambiguous language. And if you have ambiguous language and you have some type of issue that later comes up in a court where one person saying you promised this, the other person saying, no, I promised that, it's important that you have all of those things discussed and clarified before you can proceed with an agreement as far as the written terms and conditions. That's just standard protocol. The only time that I ever really deal in my day-to-day activities with somebody that doesn't, where you can send them almost never can you send an agreement to somebody and they not ask for clarification. There could be issues around clarification of the payment terms, right? When you were saying 60-40 or you're saying 85-15 of what? Does that include this? Does it include that? When you have a rematch clause, when you say that there's a rematch clause, what do you mean? Is it going to be an immediate rematch? Is it an eventual rematch? What are the terms of that rematch? There are just a lot of things that where you have to clarify definitions. A lot of times when you read agreements, there's like very long section in the front of it where people define the meanings of words, just so that you make sure that when I say that when I say rematch and you say rematch, what does that mean? When I say immediate rematch, what does that mean? Does that mean within 6 months? Does it mean it just has to be your next bout? Does the rematch have to be in the UK? Does it have to be in the United States? That's just reasonable stuff. And stuff that you have to expect, especially when you're dealing with a scenario where people really don't trust one another. Right? Like if you have a relationship with somebody and you have a trusting relationship with somebody and you dealt with them in the past and you feel comfortable with them, you might be more inclined to, have an understanding of you being able to come to a conclusion later down the road. And, I wouldn't doubt if that's the situation here, but most importantly, I think this is a scenario. Now, when Shelly Finkle says, there's just 2 points that we have, we need clarification on. We don't know what those points are. But when Eddie Hearn had said the same thing in an interview saying, look, okay, we see the $50 million deal. We don't have any doubts that the money is there, right? We know, we're not asking for proof of funds, but we do have a couple questions like, where's the fight going to be? And as we see, that one point was the major hang up on it, right? Now, once again, the ball is in, according to this report, the ball is in Matchroom Boxing's court. If Eddie Hearn's saying that he hasn't heard, and to be honest, now usually I would, flat out point out that when Eddie Hearn is saying, something that I have not, that I've heard him say something different. Now, I didn't hear him say anything today or yesterday. Now, somebody can inform me if he has. I was just kind of on some other stuff where he said that he hasn't heard from them. Now, in the past, he's claimed that he hadn't heard back from Deontay Wilder, and he had heard back from him, right? Now, also, the fact that he's talking to Barry Hearn, and then Barry Hearn's talking to Eddie Hearn, then Eddie Hearn's talking to Anthony Joshua. I don't believe he's actually talking to Anthony Joshua, but he's talking to Rob McCracken, right? That could be the reason why there is a holdup. But most likely the reason that there's a holdup is, and this is my belief, despite what Derek Chisora is saying, my belief is that there's going to be delays because they really don't want the fight, man. Not now, at the least. Not now, at the least. Just today, I'm not in the mood to, just to completely dog out Anthony Joshua and say he doesn't want the fight. I don't see how anybody could draw, a different conclusion than that. But, for the sake of today, I'm just not in the mood to light into him. I don't really care about the fight right now. There's been so much, there's been so much back and forth, so much, he said, she said stuff around this fight and honestly, I've said this before, I believe 99.999% of that is over on Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua's side. They are the A side, right? As people like to say so much. Well, if the A side gets their demand, the A side can also make the fight happen. The A side can also make the fight. They can also make the bout happen. They could have said, and this is my thing, they could have made this bout months ago. They could have said 60-40 If they had said 60-40, we're going to do it in Wembley. 60-40, we'll do it in Wembley in August. 60-40, we do it in August. Right? You guys fought, what is that? March, April, May, June, July, August. 5 months, right? 2 months of rest, 3 months of training. They could have came back in August. If they would have done that, then I would have said, okay, yeah, they really want to fight. Because I do believe it took them a month to make the Joseph Parker fight. There was some pushback between Joseph Parker originally on the offer that they were made, but they just went back and forth a little bit, and boom, that bout was made inside of a month. Just a little pushing back and forth. Eddie Hearn knows how to get deals done quickly. He did one in, I think, 3 days or something. I think that's what Joseph Parker said. It was like 3 days to get Dillian White, Joseph Parker done. I think the reason that would happen was because obviously they had nowhere else to go. They either had to underpay Dillian White for Pulev, or they had to, throw Dillian White in the trash can by having him fight Luis Ortiz. So that might have got that bout done a little bit easier. So, but anyway, it is what it is. And that's the latest update. Shelly Finkle saying that they're waiting to hear from Eddie Hearn, and that they've been waiting for 2 days to hear back from him on 2 points of clarification. And though they're walking around, and I guess honestly, he must have said it, because that's what Shelly Finkle's saying. He's like, it gets a little frustrating. What did he say? It's frustrating as Eddie Hearn is stating in the media that we need to be back quick and sign the contract, but how can we sign it if they don't respond to our email and clarify our concerns? So actually, in reading this again, Shelly Finkle is saying, look, we haven't heard back from him. So anyway, that is what it is. And, the drama continues. And with that, I'm out. Peace.